I once encountered a hooded man so eerie it made my skin crawl. As long as he ate something that once belonged to a dead person, he could take on their exact appearance. It would only last for 2 minutes, but it was enough for the family of the deceased to say their goodbyes. Many people were willing to pay for that chance, and my father, the bar owner, made a fortune off it, but none of them knew that a terrifying conspiracy was closing in. One day, a man walked into the bar. He didn't say much, just tossed $2,000 on the counter, saying he wanted to see a dead woman. Strangely, my father's reaction that day was unusual. Not only did he refuse, he aggressively kicked the man out. That night, I was about to go to bed when I was startled awake by noises coming from downstairs. I could faintly hear footsteps, so I carefully went down to check. I called out, but no one answered. I turned on the light leading to the basement, and sure enough, the sound was coming from there. I tried the door, but it wouldn't open. While I stood there puzzled, a dark shadow suddenly appeared right behind me, sending a jolt of panic through me. As I walked down the hallway, the man showed up again. I was so startled that I grabbed a bottle and told him to back off. His name was Mike, and he wasn't a bad person. He just wanted to see his dead wife. I thought he was crazy and asked him what wife he was looking for here. After a short conversation, he learned that I was the new owner. He pulled a wad of bills from his pocket, and when I asked where his wife was, he said a woman in the basement could let him see her. I still didn't believe him until he pulled out $2,000 explaining that he had been here before, but my father had turned him down. He swore he wasn't insane and that everything he said was true, begging me to help him fulfill his wish. It still sounded ridiculous to me, but the sight of that money made me hesitate. I took it and told him I didn't have the key right now and asked him to come back tomorrow. After he left, I told my friend, and when she heard I might be making a lot of money, she rushed over. I explained my deal with the man, and while she was a little worried about me, I didn't take it to heart. I kept the money, and I was also curious to see what was in the basement. The next day, Mike showed up on time. I unlocked the basement door, but to my surprise, it was completely empty. There were only 2 chairs in the middle and a black hole in the wall. Mike walked up and called inside, but there was no answer. Suddenly, he seemed to remember something and told me to try calling, so I said to the black hole, "If someone's in there, come out." Moments later, a black hand reached out, its head covered with a sack. My friend was terrified and told me to get out, but I just stood there frozen. Mike calmly said, "I need your help to summon my wife and say goodbye to her." But the creature ignored him. It only followed my orders. I told it to sit down and relayed Mike's request. He wanted to see his dead wife. The monster stretched out its terrifying claws, and Mike pulled out his wife's ring. It took the ring, pulled off the hood, and opened its mouth wide to swallow it. A moment later, it let out a horrifying roar, and in the next second, its black hand turned into a normal human hand. Mike knew it had worked and eagerly reached to remove the hood, but what happened next shocked us both. The creature didn't turn into his wife. Instead, it became the one person he least wanted to see, his mother.